Hi, I hope everyone is doing well. My name is Sarah, and I make videos about sewing and styling a handmade wardrobe. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 7 pieces from my wardrobe that I never reach for. I'm going to let you know the reasons why I don't think that I wear these pieces. Then I'll share an outfit that I wore in a previous week trying to style each piece, and then I'll let you know if I'm going to keep that item in my closet or declutter it. Let's just get started. The first piece is the Megan Nielsen Flint shorts. I made these in 2024 and I've worn them only 9 times. I also just want to add that the only reason I've even worn them 9 times is because earlier this year I made a challenge for myself where I was selling pieces from my closet that I never wear, and this was one of them. So without that challenge, I would have worn these even less. So there's 2 reasons why I think that I'm not reaching for these faux leather shorts. The first one has to do with the seasons or when it's appropriate to wear these shorts. So because they're shorts, I think of them as a summer item. But because they're faux leather, I can't really wear them in the summer. So they're really more of like a spring, fall kind of thing, or I can wear them in the winter with tights. But I'm not going to wear them when it's super, super cold out, just more when it's kind of a moderate winter weather. So finding the right time to actually wear these shorts can be a little bit difficult. The second reason why I don't reach for these is because it's also kind of an in-between sort of thing in terms of styling. Like they're shorts, so in my head they're very casual, but because they're faux leather, I feel like they only look good in a more dressy outfit. And so it's really hard to find a time when it's appropriate for my lifestyle to wear these. Because if I'm just at home, I'm unlikely to reach for these because they feel too dressy, but they don't feel dressy enough for me to wear them to work. So I just never know when the right time it is to wear these shorts. So keeping that in mind, I did wear these one day last week when I was working from home and I had to run a few errands, so I did leave the house. So I put it together with my pink Addington top, which I also haven't worn too much, but that one is new. All of the pieces that I'm sharing with you have been made prior to 2025, so none of them are super recent. I also wore my Vogue knitting lace cardigan over the top because it was a little bit chilly. I wore my black Converse sneakers, and then I carried my little mini Pochette bag. Now with the sneakers and the cardigan, I did try to dress it down a little bit and make it more appropriate for just being at home and running errands, but it still felt a little bit off to me. And so I do still struggle with styling these. I don't feel very comfortable wearing them. I actually think in a weird way, I have an easier time styling these in the winter because I think that it works really well in the winter with thick tights and boots and then with just a chunky sweater over top. So I do feel more comfortable wearing them in the winter. I don't think that I'm ready to give up on these yet. I feel like if I just keep working on it and keep trying, it'll get more comfortable. I'll find different ways that I do like wearing these. So I'm going to keep them in my closet for now, but I do admit that I still struggle with them. I don't quite have it down yet when the right time is to wear them or what the right outfits are. This next piece is the Simplicity 2184 skirt. I made it in 2022 and I'd worn it a total of 9 times. Prior to this past week, I hadn't worn it at all this year. And I really think that I fell victim to listening too much to other people. So we all know that animal print is very on trend right now, but technically what is on trend is the more natural looking animal prints, the browns and the blacks. These colorful, more stylized animal prints are technically out of style. And I think that that rule just kind of leaked into my brain. And so I felt like I couldn't wear this anymore because it's out of style and I would look out of fashion wearing it. And so because of that, I have actually thought about decluttering this a few times, but I'm realizing now that it's silly to listen to other people. If I like the skirt and I like the colors and I like the way that it looks on me, then who cares whether it's currently in fashion or not? And lately I've been watching a lot of videos with people styling different outfits. And there was this one fashion video that I watched. She was an older woman, and I won't call her out by name because I'm not looking to disparage anybody. But technically her style, in my opinion, is a little bit out of fashion. Like she still likes wearing really skinny jeans and kind of the more fitted blazers, things that were more in style in the 2010s. But when I watched her video, I think that she still looked very chic and current because she had modern jewelry, she wore it with other modern pieces. And I really think that it's not necessarily a garment that makes you look out of style. It's more the way that you put things together or the way that you carry yourself. So when I wore this last week, I wore it with my cropped denim shirt, which I can't remember the number, but it'll be down in the description box. To me, a cropped shirt is very on trend. And then I wore it with my black Mary Janes and just a simple black vintage Coach bag. And I felt really good wearing this outfit. I went out to lunch with some family members and I felt like nobody was looking at me and just judging me for being so out of style. So it was just a little reminder to me that I'm the boss and I get to decide what I like to wear on my own body and not to worry so much about what other people say about what's in or out. If I feel good in it and I feel confident, then that's what really matters. Let me know in the comments if you have ever fallen victim to this as well, because I feel like I must not be the only one. Sometimes it's hard to ignore the advice when it just keeps coming at you constantly. And I just need to take a breath and remember that I'm the boss of what I wear. Now, this next piece is actually a ready-to-wear dress that my husband purchased for me back in 2020. I had gotten it in a Stitch Fix box and I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it or not, and so I tried it on and asked my husband what he thought, and he thought it looked really nice on me, and so he ended up purchasing it for me, which was very kind. However, I've only worn this dress 2 times since 2020. Now, I know exactly the reason why I don't wear this dress. It's a lace dress. It seems fancy. I actually bought it thinking that I could wear it to a wedding if I ever needed a wedding guest dress. And so it just sat in my closet otherwise because it just feels like it's too fancy, it's too formal to wear in normal everyday life. But as I was going through my closet picking out pieces for this challenge, I said to myself, I need to find out a way to wear this in my normal everyday, or I need to get rid of it, because saving it for a wedding or for some event that may never come along, because I'm in my mid-40s and pretty much everybody I know who is going to get married is married at this point, I'm just never going to wear this dress, and so there's no point in keeping it if I'm not going to find a way to wear it casually. So I did wear this dress to work last week. I paired it with my Quince leather blazer, and I wore some tall brown riding boots. And then I carried my secondhand Louis Vuitton Noe bag, just trying to make it a little bit more casual, a little bit more lived in. However, after I actually wore the dress for a whole day, I do think that I'm going to declutter this one. Mainly it's because of the fit. Now, back in 2020, I remember trying it on and just being pleasantly surprised by how well this ready-to-wear dress fit me. Because back around that time, I hardly owned any dresses at all because nothing fit me properly. And so finding one that actually did look pretty good was a pleasant surprise, and that's a big reason why I wanted to keep it. However, my sizing has changed pretty significantly since 2020, and I don't feel like this dress looks good on me. I feel a little bit self-conscious and uncomfortable in it. It sort of pulls in places. It doesn't really feel good. It's a little bit high and tight under the arms. And so there's no reason for me to hang on to this dress when I don't even wear it in the first place, and it doesn't fit me anymore. So it's a little bit of a shame because I definitely missed my window when I could have been wearing this and I just didn't. So I feel a little bit bad about it because it was a gift, but I am going to declutter this one because there's just no sense in holding on to something that I don't feel good in. This next piece is the Paper Cut Patterns Tula pants made out of a silk fabric that I was gifted by Minerva. I made this in 2024 and I've only worn it 4 times. Now, unlike the skirt that I showed you, these pants are very much on trend. Like a satiny, silky pant is really trendy right now. But I personally struggle to wear these kind of for the same reason as the shorts. Like, it just feels too fancy for certain occasions, but not dressy enough for others. And so I'm never really sure how to wear these pants, and so they just sit in the closet. So I wore these to work last week, and I decided to pair it with a Paradise Patterns Blama tank in gray, which you can't really see in the photos, unfortunately, but it just had a little bit of peeking out of the collar of my sweater. And it actually was warm enough that day that I did end up taking off the sweater eventually and just having the tank underneath. I didn't get a picture of that. Then on top, I was wearing my new hand knit cotton sweater in a stripe, and I just really liked the way that the stripes looked with the pattern. Then I had on my navy blue Mary Jane flats, and since I was at work, I had my Longchamp tote in navy. So I did really like this outfit a lot. I felt more comfortable in this one than any of the other outfits I've showed you so far. I liked it both with the sweater, and then once I took the sweater off and had just the gray tank top underneath, I liked both looks. And I do think that this one should be easier to style because these pants are trendy right now. I could just go to Pinterest or Instagram and look up satin pants outfits and get lots of different ideas for ways that I could style this in a way that feels comfortable to me. So I think this one, I just need to try harder. I need to get it out of my closet, steam it, and then put it on my body and just try out different outfits and see what works. I'm definitely going to keep these. I do think that I could even wear them in the winter as long as I wear tights underneath. So I'm looking forward to finding different ways to wear these pants and just hopefully remembering that they exist, because I do have so many clothes. I think that's another reason why I don't reach for certain things, because I just have so many options. This next item is a hand knit piece that I made in 2023. It's from the book Knitting Lingerie Style, and I made it out of an organic cotton. I'd only worn it 4 times prior to this past week. Now this particular piece, I'm pretty sure I don't reach for it because I do have to wear something underneath. Like in the outfit I wore, I think a white tank top or a nude colored tank top, I can't remember, but some kind of tank top underneath. And so when it's really, really hot, I don't want to wear this because I don't want to layer in the summer. But it's also not really appropriate for winter weather. Like it would be kind of difficult and bulky to add enough layers to make it warm enough. And then the second reason why I think I don't reach for this one is the color. I've mentioned before that purple is supposed to be one of my best colors. Basically all shades of purple look good on me, but it's just a color that I've never really gravitated towards. Like I don't dislike it, but it's also not one of my favorites. So if I want to wear something colorful, I have so many different options of things that I could reach for that I love. And this one I just don't really love. It's just more like it's okay. You know what I'm saying? So when I styled this outfit, I went for something kind of casual. So I did wear an Amazon tank underneath this top, and then I paired it with my new Abercrombie barrel jeans. I did have to hem those jeans and I also had to taper them a little bit. And then I had on my nude loafer mules. And I did really like this outfit. I think that this is another one that I just have to make a conscious effort to try to style it more because it's a little bit outside my comfort zone, but it's also not so far out there that it doesn't even feel like my style. I do think that I can make it work. I just have to try. I do wonder sometimes if I had knit this out of a different color, if I would actually wear it more, but too little too late. I have this one now. So I'm just going to try to make it work. I would love to hear if you have any strategies for incorporating colors into your wardrobe when it's something that you're not super familiar with. How do you make it work with your existing clothes when it's just not a color that you technically want to reach for every day? I would love to hear your thoughts. Before we go any further, if you're enjoying this video so far, I would really appreciate it so much if you would give me a thumbs up because it helps more people find my channel. Thank you so much for your support. Moving on to the next piece, this is another ready to wear. It's my Goelia tank that I bought in 2024 and I've only worn it 6 times. This is the most surprising to me out of all of the pieces that I chose for this past week because when I bought this tank, I assumed that I would wear it all the time. It's a basic cream and black stripe. It does have this wider plain section at the top before the stripes start, which is why I bought this. I think it would be kind of difficult to find fabric to duplicate it in sewing, and I could do it in knitting, but it would take forever. So I went ahead and purchased this tank. It was not expensive, but I've just hardly worn it since I bought it, and I don't really know why. The only thing that I can think of is that I do have another tank top that is a navy and white stripe that I did pick myself. And maybe the two are similar enough that when I want a striped tank, I'll reach for the one that I made over this one. I think that might be part of it, that perhaps this tank and the one that I made are kind of duplicates in terms of how they fit into my wardrobe. And if I have a choice, I'm going to go for the one that I sewed over a purchased one. Other than that, I can't really think of why I'm not wearing this. So in terms of making this work for early fall, I paired it with my white Quince jeans, and then I wore my Nomi cropped trench in a green color over top. To bring in that stripe, I wore my little Saludos espadrilles, which I thought was really cute, and then I carried my little YSL wallet on chain. I did really like the outfit. I felt like this tank blended in very naturally into my wardrobe because stripes are a staple classic piece for me. I think it's just another one of those things where I have to force myself to wear it. And maybe it's a lesson to me to think hard about those duplicates and try to eliminate them. Like I probably never really needed to buy this because I already had something that was similar. But sometimes it's just hard to know that until you just do it and then realize like, oh yeah, I didn't actually need this. But going forward, thinking about things that I might purchase or things that I sew for myself in the future, I really need to think hard about, do I already have something that fulfills this purpose in my wardrobe already? Because if I do, I probably don't need another one. Now this last piece, I know exactly why I'm not wearing it and it just needs an alteration. This is the Sew Over It kitty dress. I made it in 2024 and I'd only worn it 3 times. I know exactly the reason why I'm not wearing this dress, and it's because it's too long. So the style of it with the cherries is very like 50s housewife, which quite honestly is the look that I was going for, but it's also very, very different from my typical style. It's not the way that I normally like to dress. And so because it is such a departure, I think what I really needed was to have some element of the dress be something that I'm more comfortable with, that I'm more used to. Now it is a shirt dress, so I love shirt dresses, so I do have that part of it. And I made it ankle length because I wanted it to be very feminine and elegant, but having it be so long, having it come almost all the way down to the ground, it just feels like a little bit too costumey to me. I think that it looks great on other people, but I honestly think that it would look better on me if it was significantly shorter, probably more of a midi length. Like I haven't figured out exactly how many inches I need to take off of it, but I do think that if I saw my legs a little bit more, that it would feel more casual, that it would feel more like something that I would want to wear. Now, the reason why I have not altered this yet is because the dress is fully lined. And so shortening it is not just a matter of cutting it off at the bottom and hemming it. I do have to put some thought into it in terms of dealing with the lining and all of that. And I'm also not quite sure right now how short I want it to be. But I definitely think that if I just altered this dress and made it shorter, that I would wear it more. And then the reason that I'm not wearing it is because it's too long. Now, the outfit that I pulled together for this particular dress, I did really like. I wore my old caramel leather jacket. Then I had on my brown loafers, which I actually really liked with this dress because I thought it was a nice contrast between the more masculine and feminine. And then I had on my new Coach Empire 21 bag. I thought the outfit looked nice. I think that I would have liked it even better if the dress was a little bit shorter. So I am going to put this away soon because the weather is changing. I'm hoping to do my closet switch over this weekend, and I'll be putting this away for the winter because there's just no way I'm going to wear it when there's snow on the ground because it'll just get dirty. But in the springtime, when I pull it back out, that'll be one of the first things on my list to do is to find a way to shorten this dress because I think that I would reach for it so much more if it was just a little bit shorter. Now, before I end this video, I will share with you quickly what I'm wearing because even though I put it down in the description box, people always ask me anyway. So on top, I'm wearing my Hey June handmade Willamette shirt that I made several years ago. I'm wearing my True Bias Lander pants in this royal blue that I absolutely love. I have on my new Solo lace-up boots, and I'm carrying my little suede Coach Soho flat bag. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.